What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? Here we are on this, the 13th day of May. 18 days, 11 hours left in the week. 5 days, 11 hours, or 18 days, 11 hours left in the month. 5 days, 11 hours left in the week. We are up today a little bit, 0.8%. Down on the week overall. It's kind of a neutral week. We've got a little spinning top look on us right now. You know, I was looking back in history and I was seeing, because this is the second highest weekly close we've got in Bitcoin's history, right? The second highest. The highest one was right here. And I was looking back to see if there are any moments like this to reference. And, you know, we go back in time, and the points that I reference, I feel like they're not good examples. Here, we closed right by this one, and all we did over the next 3 weeks was go down, essentially. We dropped 12%. Bitcoin better not drop 12% over the next 3 weeks. We better be moving up. We better be doing this shit over the next 3 weeks, not dropping and consolidating. It's okay. We got another example right here where we consolidated and we dropped for a long time. I don't think that's going to happen. This isn't how technical analysis is done, but I'm just saying, you know, referring to the last couple of times that we've closed like this, it hasn't been good. Even just like the relative highs here. But I'll tell you what, you know, this close here being a little higher than that one, but very near it, it was still inside a consolidation phase. This close here, still inside a consolidation phase. This one is not inside a consolidation phase. We're in a breakout phase. So I think it's different circumstances, different kind of environment, different readings on the RSI. You know, I've been in crypto since 2015, you guys. That was the first time that I ever bought Bitcoins. And, you know, I started doing technical analysis some years later. And with technical analysis, the bread and butter to my style is the Fibonacci retracement tool. I do believe that we are on a path higher right now to about $160,000 to $180,000. If we don't stop here, I'm very convinced, and I don't think that we stop at 160K, but if we don't stop there, very convinced that we're going to break above 170K with the 2272. Oftentimes you do wick a little bit above there. That'll put you at about $185,000 to $182,000, something like that. If we were to wick above it, obviously just a little bit above it could do as well, but something around 180K. We might actually get right above 180K, and that would be fantastic. If we look at this from the perspective of last cycle's highs, we take the previous all-time high, the bull market high, to the bear market low. The golden ratio here, the golden extension, is right there at $174,000. And I think we're going to run up there and probably wick a little bit through it, right? To wick a little bit through it, that's 184K right there, 183K, right? It lines up with two very key fib areas. And what do I know? But this is literally ever since I've been doing technical analysis. This is my bread and butter here, is the Fibonacci retracement and extension tool here. It's not the extension tool, it's just the retracement, but it has extensions on it, right? It's not the trend-based fib extension. I don't want to get confused there, but similar but different, right? Same but different. Looking at this, whenever you consolidate below the 1272 like this, whenever you hit the 1272, the common thing to do is to pull back to your 786 or lower. At the very least, your 886, but your 786. That's the common thing to do. You stop somewhere in this zone here. It's very rare and it's very bullish to stop above that zone. It's even more bullish to stop in the zone that you're stopping at and not even touch the 100 level, the one right here, the beginning of your range. It's very, very, very bullish what you're doing here. And I've seen this happen throughout my time doing analysis, right, which is like years and years, since 2017. And whenever you consolidate like this, you don't stop at the 1414. You don't stop in between the 1414 and the golden ratio. You go right up to the golden ratio, if not through it. And through it we will. Absolutely we will. But I think it's very unlikely that Bitcoin from here just goes on a non-stop party all the way up to 260K. Maybe it's like that. We'll see. Maybe. But I think it's going to, you know, probably we're going to move up, have some stops, have some tea, and then move up again, you know, chill, whatever, and then move up again. It's not going to take this long. I don't think we'll be in April. I don't think it's going to be next year that we're still moving up. But my point being, I really do think that we're on a path higher right now, 103.6K to 170 to 180K. I think that's where we're going to go. And the way that we're consolidating here, what we're doing with the fibs, it's very, very strong, very, very healthy looking. If we look at the RSI, bouncing off the 60 twice, I think we're going to get set up in a scenario where after this month closes, we're going to have double bearish divergence or triple bearish divergence, whatever you want to call it. I would call it double, but maybe it's triple. I don't know. You got 1, 2, 3 peaks after all, so it could be triple. Triple needs 4 peaks. We're about to set up the 4th peak, but I'm kind of counting this as 1 peak in itself. All I'm trying to say here is by the end of this month, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, it would not surprise me if we had this bearish divergence look on the monthly RSI and everybody's calling for the end of the cycle, and that's going to be some kind of big thing. Maybe in the beginning of June, we get some kind of pullback because of it, and then we move up. It won't be a dramatic pullback. It'll be a lot less dramatic than what I think people are looking for. But just be aware, this monthly RSI bearish divergence, whenever you hear this in about 3 weeks, a little bit less than 3 weeks, when you start hearing people talk about that, understand that it's nonsense. It doesn't matter. It's not holding us back at all. What we have on the monthly RSI is not bearish divergence. What we have is a quest. We have a quest, and we haven't fulfilled our quest. We haven't fulfilled the duties of our quest. And what our duties are, what our quest is, what the goal here is that the RSI doesn't stop until we hit the white line. I don't care where we stop by the end of this month. I don't care where we stop by the end of next month. We're stopping here at this white line before we see any kind of significant turnaround. We can turn around for a month. We can have a red month, whatever. It can happen. It can happen on your journey. We've seen it before, but most of the time you do just go straight. Well, I mean, we don't really have any references here. We just go basically straight up there. And I think that we've dilly-dallied enough this cycle already. I think that we're ready to come and interact with this line that we have every single cycle. We get 2 peaks, 2 peaks, 2 peaks, 1 peak, 2 peaks, 2 peaks every single time. This is the only one. This is the only second peak that didn't touch that line. But on the second peak, and the reason we know that's the second peak is that every single time we get our second peak, not the first peak, but the second peak, every single time, that's where our bull market high was. Every single time. Every single time. That's where the bull market high was. We haven't even had our first peak yet. Well, we got 1 peak here, 2 peaks here. No, this is not the same. 1 peak here, 2 peaks here. No, it's not. That's not how it works, right? You got to interact with the line. Another funny thing about these peaks is that in between them, there's a little bit of thing called time, right? From this peak to that peak, that's a 4-month period. From this peak to that peak, that's a 7-month period. From this peak to that peak, that is a 4-month period. And then it goes again to 7 weeks. Or sorry, did I say 7 week? 7 month. I'm sorry, 7-month period. I don't know if I said week. Peak to peak, month to month, not week to week. My bad. So 4, 7, 4, 7. You see it. 4 months, 7 months. 4 months, 7 months of time in between these peaks. Whenever we hit this line, and I actually think that we'll hit it by the end of June. If not, maybe in July, but I think we'll hit it by the end of June. That implies that we'll have 4 to 7 months left of bull market. And maybe we see something that alternates just like this. It goes 4, 7, 4, 7. Maybe we see 4 months, and that would end us right in November of 2025. Maybe it's lesser. Maybe it's a little bit more than 4 months. Maybe it's 3 months. Maybe it's 6 months. Maybe it's 8 months. Who knows? But I do doubt that it's going to be something longer than 7 months. I do, and I would expect still that it's something lesser or greater than 4 months. So 7 months would mean that we're not going to go past February 2026. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Likely, if we hit this line, when I think we do, we're not going to progress this cycle anywhere past February of 2026. I accept it as a possibility. This might be one of the first times that I've said that, but I don't think that I don't think the cycle goes on that long. I think 4 months sounds about appropriate, and even that seems a little bit too long. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, and look, that's in July. I didn't mean to have it in July. My bad. See, I meant to have it in June. See, that messes the whole thing up right there. So 7 would actually be January. I don't think it goes into January, right? I really don't think that this bull market extends past the year of 2025, but it could. I know a lot of people are accepting of that, and there's some reasons to believe that, but I think reasons to believe that a cycle is going on longer than it was originally intended or expected or prophesized. People start changing their predictions, not at the beginning of the cycle, but at the end, just because things aren't where they want it to be. That doesn't seem like a reliable kind of train of thought there. Does that make sense? 4 months, though. 4 months would be October, and that is actually whenever I think Bitcoin will top off. And coincidentally, that 4-month time frame, it just lines up with the sequence of 47474 if we do find our high relative to that trend line in June. And I think we will. I think the RSI is going to go up and touch this trend line. I think we're going to grow so much, going up to 170 to 180K it's going to put us up there. But time will tell. We will definitely see. I'm kind of curious here. How much did it take to move up there? Whenever we moved up, that was quite a bit. From and are we already overbought? No, we're barely overbought. We're at the overbought zone right now. I'm just kind of curious. Hold on. Kind of like right there, we were overbought right there. How much do we have to grow? That was hundreds of percents, man. That was hundreds of percents. I don't know. See, because to get to 170 to 180K, where I think we're going to go, that's only 77%. I'm curious. I don't know. Is that I don't have the calculations in front of me as far as like what it would take for the RSI to get up here. I am curious to see, but I wonder if we will interact with this line. If not, whatever, 170 to 180K is still the target, but might we go higher? Might we go even higher than I'm expecting? I don't know. That'd be interesting. We'll definitely see. Just that little context there, right? You were literally right at the overbought zone here on the monthly RSI. It took you 340% to move up to that white line. Well, here we are right now at that exact same level in the RSI, moving up to that same area, very similar area, but with 77 with a 77-80% move. That maybe that seems a bit out of touch. Maybe we won't touch that line, right? Because that was here. That was close enough. That was pretty close. I don't know if this makes sense at all, but it's not enough though. Something higher than these readings, but still not enough to touch that line. It'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of curious to see where we go. Anyways, though, whether or not we touch that line, I think that we will top off in October, if not November. I think that we will still behave very similarly, but maybe we don't touch that line. That's kind of interesting. That's the first time I've thought about that thought. Sorry, we're getting sidetracked here. 103.7K now. It'll be interesting to see what happens by the end of June. Weekly time frame, maybe we'll be higher. Maybe we'll be above 180K. I don't know. Maybe that's what that means, but I doubt it. I mean, that'd be insane, but we'll see. What I do believe is that we're going to continue to grow higher. We found support down in this area before, found support in this area before, we found support now, all in the same area here. Each time getting overbought, each time being the low ends of these consolidation phases that we've had in the bull market, right? Low end here right before we ripped, low end here right before we ripped. And each one of these times that we ripped, from the beginning of the move, which probably started here, to the end of the move, until we consolidated for over a month there, that was about a 69% pump, 68% pump. Here from the beginning of the move, not from the low, but from the beginning of the move right here to the high, it's about a 98% pump. My expectation is we're only going to see a bigger move this time. 98% from the low doesn't do it. I think that we'll see something that's a little bit bigger, right? 68, 98, how much more will we grow? I don't know. But I think that, 170 to 180, that seems about right. 133, 133% growth. 68 to 98, that's 30% extra. 98, 30% extra would be 128, so maybe 128% puts us right there at about 170K. I don't know, man. I think that it's happening. I think that we'll grow more than 30%, though. That's not just because this one here 68 and this one here 98 grew 30% doesn't mean this one has to. It could grow more than that. It could grow less than that. You never know. But I really do believe 160 is the bare minimum. But I keep talking about 170 to 180K because that's what I'm expecting to happen. Looking at the daily time frame here, just getting into the short-term stuff before ending the video. We're in a position here where if we close the day green, we could bounce off the overbought zone, and that would look really good. That'd be a very strong maneuver, and probably it would incentivize Bitcoin to move up, I think, for about a week or so, and we would probably push through to new all-time highs by the end of this week. Even if we don't close green today, we close red today, we come back down 0.9% in the next 10 hours, 34 minutes. If we close red, we will be out of the overbought zone. And if we close green and we get back into the overbought zone, that's still a very bullish ground to start from. So I'm not worried about it, man. Close green, close red, whatever. I'd actually like to see you close red today. I'd like to get you out of the overbought zone. If you close red to any degree, you're basically going to be out of that overbought zone. And getting in, out, in, that's very bullish behavior, right? The last time that we were doing the in, out, in, last time that we did stuff like that, we saw some pretty immaculate growth, right? It didn't matter that this day didn't close green or this day didn't close green because the 2 days that followed were phenomenal, right? It doesn't matter if today closes green. If it closes green, it'll look good. It'll look good on the daily RSI, but it's not essential. But either way, guys, we're on our way higher. I think that by the end of this week, we will see targets that are between $109,000 and $121,000. Not quite stopping it either. I think we will be somewhere in between like 112 to 115K, but we'll see. By the end of this week, yes, I think we will have new all-time highs by the end of this week, which is 5 days, 11 hours from now. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. I've said it all. So hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. And we got some good prospects long term. We just got to be patient, okay, guys? Got to be patient. All we did was talk about where we're going to be by the end of June, and then the timing of when the cycle might end. We didn't even talk about how high Bitcoin will go by the end of the cycle. You know, my expectation would be that by the end of the cycle, Bitcoin is at a price of about $500,000. I know that there's a lot of big heads in the space who have recently, I feel like it's become a more common thing. People were hesitant to say this for the longest time, but this is the same call we've had now since 2023, guys, if not 2022, that Bitcoin would see prices at $500,000. Now I hear a lot of people talking about not just 500K, but $1 million. It's possible. We've never seen Bitcoin from a high to a low grow past this 2272 on its fib extensions from a prior cycle high to low. Most of the time it hits this 2272 and it stops just above it like this. So I think 500K, maybe even just below 500K, that's where we're going to go by the end of this cycle. Wouldn't surprise me if we stopped a little bit below 500K even because of how anticipated it is. But we'll see. We'll see. I've got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.